So a guy running for the governor's office here in Texas is Beto. Yeah, he's back, Beto O'Rourke. Here's what he says about the border and Title 42.
But I want to turn our attention to Title 42. You don't think it's a good idea for the Biden administration to end Title 42. Why?
No, I think it's time to end Title 42. Okay. I don't think we should have ever implemented it. It's a very cynical reading of U.S. law.
It's very cynical. This, by the way, is the one thing that has kept the border, I can't even say halfway sane, not just being overrun all the time, because this was a COVID thing. We got to make sure that we're not letting everybody in with, it didn't matter. But we're now talking about the possibility of allowing 16,000 people in every day. That's a pretty big number. Sheriff Bill Waybourn is the Tarrant County sheriff. That's with Fort Worth. And we were at Chuck Norris's place doing a fundraiser just last week. Sheriff, welcome. How are you?
I'm great, sir, and Glenn, it's so good to be with you.
So I talked to you, Bill, at the fundraiser, and we were talking about. I mean, I'm always fun at a party. We were talking about fentanyl and the problems with drugs, and you told me some stories that melted the skin off my face about the amount of fentanyl that is coming in now.
It is an incredible, copious amounts that have came in. And right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, our great narcotics teams and interdiction teams has seized enough fentanyl right here to kill almost 800,000 people. And that would give them fatal doses. Our DPS, who has done an incredible job on the border under Steve McGraw, has seized enough fentanyl down there to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States of America. And we're
wait. Yeah. Enough fentanyl to kill everyone in this country.
Yes, sir. It pounds and pounds and pounds of that dope. And it's cheap dope because it's a synthetic heroin that's markedly more addictive and markedly more dangerous.
And that's just what we've caught. What do you suppose is coming through and getting through?
Well, I think a conservative estimate is that we're probably getting about 1/3. That's a conservative estimate, and that means that probably 2/3 have gotten across and gotten away from us.
So is there any doubt in your mind what's causing all of these overdose deaths?
Not at all. And we're losing, my last briefing was about 300 people a day, a jumbo jet a day of people going down and dying from fentanyl, and often first-time users.
So where is the bulk of this going? Does it stay here? Is it evenly distributed? Do you have any idea?
We believe that the cartel, who are incredible businessmen, are using the routes of all other folks that are using the major highways, and the hubs are going to be the major cities, i.e. Houston and Dallas and Fort Worth, and then it's splitting out and going across the country. So what is affecting us here is in Maine and Middlesex, Massachusetts, or New York or L.A., but it may have very well come through Dallas-Fort Worth to get there.
Which does what to our community? I mean, I found out a couple of years ago that in my general neighborhood, there either was or still is a guy from the cartel that owns a house right in my neighborhood. And when I found that out for some neighbors, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Well, we know that the cartel's here because we have some of them in the Tarrant County Jail. And we believe that there are decision makers here. And I would like to add that this fentanyl is indiscriminate. It is going into the gated communities as well as into the at-risk areas, at-risk neighborhoods. It is indiscriminate.
Do you remember the crack problem of the 80s?
I very well do.
Yeah. Can you compare that problem, which was the #1 story every night for years? Can you compare those two?
absolutely is that fentanyl is going to be crack absolutely on triple steroids because there's no room for error. We believe that 4 out of 10 pills could be fatal.
Jeez. So you're almost at 50-50, rolling the dice that you're going to survive.
That is correct.
And are any of these coming from, are they being stolen from major pharmaceuticals, or is this all stuff that is just being made across our border?
It is all being made. The cartel has set up their own pill press. They're imitating OxyContin. They're imitating ADD drugs like Adderall and pain pills. In fact, there's one sheriff that is a friend that shared a story with me the last time I visited. They were working a fentanyl death where a young college kid just wanted to stay up and study for exams, not a drug user at all, and a friend offered him Adderall, and he took it, and 10 minutes later he was dead.
And I read a story yesterday, I think it was in the New York Times, and they were talking about the drug overdoses that are happening, and they blamed it on China, that China was shipping a lot of this, I don't know in what ghost containers, maybe along with the ghost guns, they're shipping them in these containers, and we're getting the major portion of our fentanyl drug problem from China. Do you believe that?
Well, I believe that there is some coming from China directly to the United States. No question about that. But the majority of what we're seeing in Texas has come from China through even Venezuela and Mexico up through the cartel routes. Because it's an open border. It's an easy path.
So it might actually be it might be produced in China, but it's coming through the cartels on an open border.
That's correct.
Jeez.
China to Venezuela to Mexico. And it's weaponization. I believe that the cartel knows very well that this will kill people, and they're not worried about that. They're very accepting of the casualties.
How much have we emboldened these crime syndicates down on our border? They've got to be making money hand over fist, not only in drugs, but also human trafficking, and then getting people across the border that isn't the stereotypical, human trafficking. It's just, I'll provide a boat to go over the river.
I think they're incredibly emboldened. I think that they have open borders, and I think they're on both sides of that river. They own the southern part of across the border, but they certainly have pockets, and they know what they're doing, and they know what their odds are, and it's a lot better than Vegas, and they are rolling the dice every day. And
the consequences of opening this up even more by getting rid of Title 42.
I think that's the last arrow in our quiver. And I think that will embolden them, and we will see herds of them come across, and we will see more dope, more human trafficking, and absolutely overwhelming our border counties. And I think soon we will see them showing up everywhere.
I have a family member that lives in a border town, and at Easter, she said the town is just being destroyed. She said this. A very small number of people that live there, and very soon we are going to be outnumbered by people that don't speak our language. They have nothing to do with America or our town, and they're going to be the ones that are in the majority, and we're paying for everything.
That is absolutely right. And also people think, well, is this the Mexicans? It is not.
No.
It is partially Mexican, but these come from over 100 different countries, and you're absolutely right. My border law enforcement friends tell me that pursuits are up in the last year by 400%.
What's that mean?
That means that law enforcement chases, hot pursuits, as you can dramatically think about as cars going code 3 and trying to catch the bad guy, have gone up 400% along the border. And so they're chasing people every day in every direction. And they believe that there are only at best, getting a fourth to maybe a third.
The White House said yesterday that, the 23 terrorists, the people that were on the terror watch list that were caught, that's the most that has been caught. I mean, that has been, that's crossed the border. At most, it was 23. There's no logic to that. Do you know anything about these 23, how serious these guys were?
I do not know. I'm looking forward to learning about them, and hopefully we'll have that information sooner than later. But and I think you said this earlier, we caught 23 and we're catching a third. How many does that mean that really got across?
One last question. Ghost guns. How much of a problem are ghost guns?
Well, I can only relate to our experience at Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, and there's not one briefing that's come across my desk on ghost guns or any issue with ghost guns. All
right, so I'm glad we got that taken care of. Jeez. All right, Sheriff, thank you so much. I live in your county. I live in Tarrant County, and I am so glad. I voted for you, and I'm so glad that you're the sheriff because you are no nonsense. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, and it's an honor to have you as a constituent.
You got it. Thank you.